Well, hello everybody and welcome to Wednesday's vlog. I wanted to talk today about the difference between what I think rest is and what most people think sleep is. Now, if you've heard anything about sleep your whole entire life, you've probably heard 8 hours is the amount of sleep that most people need. Now, there is an old Chinese philosophy that I've tested out quite a bit on myself that they say every hour you sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours of sleep. And it's something miraculous that happens. Most rich people and successful people have figured this out. They usually wake up by 5 a.m. How do you do that and still get 8 hours of sleep without going to bed at 8 o'clock? You tend to go to bed around 9:30, 10, and miraculously this 6-7 hours of sleep actually sustains them through the whole day. And you can kind of pretend like this is all sorts of deep motivation and type 1 and, types of personalities. No, it's just something that happens with our circadian rhythm. The body knows what time it is, and if we go to bed at a certain amount of time, we just get more rest before midnight. Especially because during around 1, 2 o'clock, that's when we're supposed to be getting up and doing the naughty, if you know what I mean, the wee hours of the morning, as they call it. Look that up, it's true. But at the same time, even if we're getting 9 to 10 hours of sleep each night, there's a lot of people that can do this and still feel very, very tired the next morning. And that's because while they're in bed, they're getting sure sleep. They're not necessarily actually getting the rest they need for themselves and the rejuvenation that's supposed to happen. Now, if you're staring at a cell phone or a computer screen right before you go to bed, your skin is light sensitive and it still thinks the sun is out. And the second your bed hits the pillow, it says, "What's going on? I'm so confused. I don't know how to actually release melatonin right now." And it takes a little bit of time. So those first few hours are your body just realizing, oh, it's time to go to bed. And if you're thinking about lots of different stressful things and you're worried about work, you're worried about your work, you're worried about your work, and you go to bed, it takes a while for the brain to start shutting down and not think about work. Worse yet, if you're doing that, your body tends to get used to or normalized to this type of stress. It brings the stress into the subconscious mind while you're asleep. And then you start having nightmares and you start twitching in bed and your body's active and you don't actually get this full shutdown mode that you need to actually get rest. And your entire next day is a spiraling cycle of stress and lack of recovery. And what ends up happening is we have this kind of sleep bank. I know a lot of different studies have disproven this, but there's actually been some research lately that's kind of touched on this sleep bank, if you will, where it's not necessarily sleep that we need to bank, it's recovery and rejuvenation. Every single day we go out to try and conquer the world, and every single day we do some damage to our bodies. We tend to expend some mental energy, we tend to expend some muscular energy or whatnot. And rejuvenation and recovery, rest, is actually how we get a lot of that energy back. Sleep is one of the easiest, most powerful ways we can recover ourselves and our tissues, and a lot of us aren't necessarily getting what we need on that. Now, here's a couple little tips for you warriors out there just like me. You need to realize that, yes, we need to go conquer the world, but we need to do it with wisdom. A warrior is not a hero that just goes out and tries to do it all by themselves. They ask for help. They gather the allies and resources they need for the battle at hand. And if they don't have those resources, they won't just go foolhardily throw their life away for some crazy conflict they don't really believe in. No, you gotta ask for help when you need it. If you need a massage, if you need to get help on a task lifting something, if you need a partnership with somebody else, go ask for that stuff. Realize that you don't have to do it all on your own. Another way to get some rest and recovery and rejuvenation is through food. Realize that your food is one of the easiest ways to get energy and nourishment back into your body. And if you're having nasty, inflammatory, sugary-like substances that burns really fast and it makes you tired, that stuff's gotta go. You've gotta support your own body to be able to have that energy that you need later on in life. And if you're not doing that, but once or twice a week, that nutritious meal, you think it's taking you through the rest of the week. No, reverse that. It's got to be more nutrient through the whole week, and then have that one cheat meal or a couple cheat meals or one indulgence or something like that every now and then. Enjoy and feast, warrior. You earned it. That's the order on that. Last little tip I have for you guys on this is realize that the mind needs rest just as much as the body. And if you're not having some form of mental practice, spiritual practice, breathing practice, just getting in a hammock and rocking back and forth for 5-10 minutes a couple of times a week, you're going to realize that this mind-body connection is very weak, and we either spend way too much time up here or very much time down here, and we're not breathing and connecting these two together. So that's it on this. I've actually experimented with this a lot in my life, trying to get different times of day sleeping, lots of different amounts of sleep. I had one little streak where I was actually only sleeping for about 5 hours a night, and actually I loved it. But it required meditating before bed, going to sleep at 9:30 and waking up about 3-4 o'clock in the morning and meditating some more. There's a lot of research that says meditation actually equals a little bit of sleep, and because we're looking for this rest, rejuvenation, recovery concept. All right, that's it for today. I know this video ran a little long, but I wanted to ramble on rest for a little bit and to maybe kind of stimulate some thought in you guys. Hopefully this helps you guys out, and I'm not just mumbling to myself in front of a camera, but even if I am, it helps me think a little bit. All right, have an awesome Wednesday, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.